the disease of addiction is a sword. So you cut yourself and you didn't even know you were bleeding. So you're just gonna do what you do, because you can. Because addiction says, F everybody. Because one thing for sure, the addiction always talks. Always. It doesn't want you to feel anxious. Why should you feel anxious, man? Come on and get high. And then anxiety be gone. Stress is a factor of life, even for those that don't have HIV. When you are really sick and tired of being sick and tired, you change. Okay? You don't just say it, you change. So I say voice your choice. You can choose to be upset because you're stressed. You can choose to be upset because here we go again. But guess what? It is what it is. And the responsibility is on you. And that's what none of us, especially addicts, because the drug tells you you ain't responsible for nothing but getting high, doesn't it? That's the only thing you got to worry about. But in reality, if you choose, whoever you choose as a partner, whatever you do, whatever the end product is, you have had a part to play. And for many people years ago, when they first got the virus, a lot of people were angry. And that's all they could see was the anger. And they said, you gave me this and she gave me that. But if you didn't play the game, you wouldn't have the shame. That may be cruel, but that's real.
Good evening, people. My name is Wilson. I'm an ex-addict and still is an addict. You know, I've been getting high for several years. And addiction for me is, I would like to say that I don't hate the player, but I just hate the game, you know, and I'm just caught up in that game right now.
One thing about addiction is that when you are using, the communication is not the best. Right. How many of you talk differently when you are under the influence versus when you're not? Okay. How many of you talk differently when you are angry versus when you're not? Okay. In addiction, your words are different, your behavior is different, and your thinking is different, is it not? Yes. And of course, we spoke about this the other day, that what really happens is that you go on your impulse. Yes. What it is, right? If you want to curse someone out, now's the time. Because you got a little something, something in you, whatever that little something, something is.
Hi, my name is Miguel Lopez. And for me, my experience with HIV is giving me an insight as to how things happen, even in life. I don't know how rude, crude, and socially unacceptable I can be, but if you live by the sword, you die by it. In other words, if you run around doing all kinds of risky behaviors like I was, you know, I can't look up and blame my situation or predicament on anyone. But since I have come to know some things now about myself and my behavior, I can start at square one, which is me. So I keep it on the eye. Now, HIV has brought some things to my life, but it's also taken others, like my sister and my brother. That all falls under categories of addiction and behavior. The bottom line for me is that I have to pay attention, because the reality of the situation is if I don't, I'll die. So I collect information about medications and I do what I have to for myself, and I try to leave all drugs and alcohol alone. I'm not always successful with that, but sometimes I have a drink without even thinking about it, because a drink doesn't really cause me that much of a problem. But if I'm obsessing over something that someone did or did not do, I might have a whole lot to drink. And then I wind up in a blackout or something else, and I wind up in all kinds of trouble. So my suggestion to anybody is that there is no miracle cure for what I feel or I go through. I just have to remember those are feelings and they'll pass. And when I start thinking that way, then I realize that there's no real need for alcohol or drugs in my life. And I also have a physical and chemical reaction to these things that make my life a lot more complicated, and I don't pay attention to the fact that if I drink, then my tongue is twice as loose as it is now. And I say dumb shit and wind up in fights and stuff. Some people call that beer balls or whatever. You know, they pick out the biggest guy in the room and they want to fight with him because they're drunk. That's me. But I don't go there anymore because I don't have a death wish. I can live with HIV or AIDS or anything else that life might throw at me.
My only daughter passed away from full-blown AIDS, and that kind of put a, and then I wound up being HIV positive, so that was like a rude awakening for me. And it, you know, it stopped me from being as outgoing as I used to be, and it inhibited a lot of my feelings as far as having a relationship with a female, because a lot of times it was just, I was using them a lot and I was using them a lot. You know, it was either to get drugs or after I got the drugs to get with me and the drugs. You know, so it wasn't really a meaningful relationship.
Using. You use people. That's people. Your family are people. You use situations. Well, you know what? I really wasn't going to get high, but. So you use situations, and you also use your mind. You scheme, right? Well, if you give me 20, then 5 will give me this, and you give me another 5, and hey, how about you? You got a little something over there? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
I have something to say. When somebody in your family dies, you use death as an excuse.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
My family died, so I need to get high.
And all of these are barriers to communication.
I just lost my son, and at this point, I hate this disease because I never let him know that I was diagnosed with HIV, and not letting somebody know your status of what you're going through. I think you don't allow them into your life. My son was in my life, but it was a secret that I had that I wonder, I should have made it an opportunity to get closer to him, but I used the opportunity of having this virus to separate us, you know, through the years. So it was a lot of times that I separated myself from him, and he separated himself from me, but not having that good communication and everything, and thinking that I was going to be a burden, or I didn't want him to feel sad and everything about what my status was. Doing addiction, you really don't care about yourself, and doing sorrow, you understand you're dealing with a disease, and you don't prepare for your life. And I wasn't able to prepare for my son's life, and therefore I didn't have any money to bury him. And then that's the guilt that sets in, you know, and I'm dealing with a lot of guilt because I didn't care about my own well-being and my afterlife, that I didn't even care about his. And I'm just going through changes with that. And HIV, drug addiction, has a lot to do with it. Thanks for letting me share that.
I'm like completely opposite of what you just said. I got a sick mom. Me telling her about my status going to be more detrimental to her than it is to me. I'm trying to just live life as normal as possible, man. Sometimes I come to these groups and I'm tired of hearing about HIV, dude. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's depressing. It sometimes make me feel like I'm a pharmacy with all these medication and all these stuff. So the less I hear about it, I know I have it, but I don't need to be constantly reminded of it. I try to live life as a person. You understand what I'm saying? Living life as a person who don't have no limits. Sky's the limit with me. That's how I look at it. I don't limit myself because of a medical condition. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm trying to like just live life the best I can. I'm living with this disease. This disease is not living with me. So I don't try to make it be a controlling issue with me. You understand what I'm saying?
How, knowing that I got a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long can I actually go before I go do what I want to do?
How long do you want to go? How long do you want to
Because
go?
I'm sitting here and as you're talking, I'm listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I've heard it 1,000 times, and all it's telling me in my mind is, I'm tired of this shit. I'm doing it over and over. I'm gonna get my metro and leave. I'm gonna be honest, right?
Yep.
I don't think it's the addiction or the crack that's making me say that. It's more that I'm sitting here knowing this, and just hearing it over and over in my head is causing stress right now to me. I don't know why.
But you didn't answer my question. And I said, how long? You see, because if you believe that there's something that you're getting, even though you're ticked off and you know it and you heard it and been there and done that and went there, and if you believe that there's something, even if it's a little something, that's coming forth from this group, from what someone said or whatever, that might help you a little bit, then you got something to work with. But when you want to give yourself a choice, you say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know what the other is. So that's what I'm saying to you. Yes, you've heard it. You know it. But the bottom line is, until it's in here, it ain't real. Until it's internalized. Until it's internalized.
One of the reasons why I come here is to try to stay connected. A lot of times when I come here, like I came here today, and Susan tell me I have a stain on my pants. You know, they'll tell me, you know, why you not wearing those socks? You know, they'll tell me, Mary, did you take a bath today? You know, or something like that. You know, but all of that, I don't take that as an insult. I take all that people just like looking after me, you know, because when I get on my job at the funeral home and I have a stain on my pants, they come down on me hard, you know. When I get on my job and I didn't get a haircut or I missed a spot with my bald head, you know, they come down on me hard. So here it kind of gives me, it kind of preps me for the outside world, you know, because they're going to tell you, like, your friend is the one that's going to tell you your breath stink, you know. Somebody else is just going to talk about you, you know.
You also know that when you go out there and when you go out into the world, Eric, and you go out to do what you do, they don't give a damn. You know it, not because I'm saying it. So that's why I say voice your choice. I would rather choose to stand here and take the possibility of maybe one person hearing something and being able to use something I say than to sit in my office and say, hey, they're going to do the same thing anyway.
I come to these groups to get some feelings out of it and to be more alive in these groups. If I don't come to these groups, I might be doing something else, picking up drugs or getting high or trying to rob somebody else. And this place saved my life, helped me out, made me more mature, more at ease, more calmer. That's about it.
HIV is not, to me, is not a death sentence. It's a reason to reevaluate your life and look at yourself and exactly see where you're at and where you want to go, instead of just floating along like a feather on the wind. Is to put meaning into your life. I realize life is very precious now, and that, you know, to live it to its fullest. I still feel healthy, so I try not to live up to the stigmatism that HIV carries with it. I feel healthy. And no matter what label you may put on me, I cannot identify with it. I can use that as an excuse to not live life on life's terms. But even that doesn't make much sense now. I can't use it for the excuse no more because I've lived and I have responsibility to myself and to the people that love me and care about me. And the Bridge is one of those organizations that love and care about me.
The only thing that's guaranteed is this moment. So it's this moment, right here. I'm here right now, and that's all I got. So I say, I believe you're worth it. And it's okay if you're tired of hearing my voice. It's all right. But guess what? I'm not going to kill you because I'm not the disease. I'm not going to humiliate you because I'm not the disease. And I'm not going to hurt you because I care about all of you.
I've been here for about almost a year, and I feel a big change. I feel like my life has moved forward, and that and I feel an unconditional love